Eldazi, thanks for joining us. So, like I said earlier, we will be touching base in Takoradi shortly to get the latest on the Bring Back Our Tardy Girls campaign. There was a vigil over the weekend. We'll see what happened there. Lucy Quist is already with me in the studio. She is vice president of the FIFA Normalization Committee for Ghana's GFA. And we will be going into this beautiful game that we love and how we've been trying to fix it. But before we start anything else, we've been joined on the line by Sam Okudzeto. I don't know if he warrants the title lawyer because he seems so much bigger than that. But he's a senior statesman, he's a lawyer, he's a member of the Council of State, former president of the Ghana Bar Association. Good morning, Mr. Okudzeto. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So what are your impressions of the just ended by-election that took place at Ayawaso West?
Well, all we have done is what we are reading in the papers. Well, it looks like the election went on well, but we had some fracas in the area, in part of the constituency, which it didn't make any sense to some of us.
So, of course, you're talking about, by fracas, you're talking about men who were, if I can use the term, unleashed into the system. These men that the police say they don't know, they went on firing gunshots for a continuous 15 to 20 minutes, slapping a member of parliament. What's your view on what happened, who these men are, and what they did?
Well, I don't know who they are. And, that's the matter for the police and also the public as well, because sometimes we the public, want to pretend as if everything is just for the police, but we are all law enforcers. Because if you see something which is wrong in a society, your job is to ensure that the right thing is done. So the question is that where should people go and start shooting guns? Even police are not allowed just to be shooting guns. There has to be some basis for what they do. And if they do it and it is not the correct situation, the public should insist that the right thing be done, that they should be prosecuted, brought out and prosecuted. Because it makes no sense at this day now and age in Ghana for people to be taking the law into their own hands.
These are men that the National Security Minister has stood by. He says their action was sanctioned by government. He says even their dress, the fact that they were wearing masks, the fact that they were carrying heavy arms, all of these were sanctioned officially by government.
Well, I don't understand what he's talking about. Why were they shooting? Was there anything that has happened there to enable them to shoot? I think people should insist that the proper inquiry be made, because to me it makes no sense that if it is true that he said such a thing, I think further inquiry should be made into it. When they talk about government, which government? He did it? Did he sanction it?
Yes, as a national security operation, these men came out on strict orders, and in fact
to shoot.
So he has not taken back, apologized, or said that anything that was done by the men was not in order. He stands by everything the men did. It has been said clearly. He spoke on Newsfile on Saturday, and this, which is why I wanted to ask that. I mean,
I haven't heard what he said, so let me be careful about that. I have not heard what he said. But I'm just saying that you, the media, you also have a responsibility and a duty. Something like that, you should insist that an inquiry be made into the issue so that the truth will come out. What was the basis for asking people to take guns to go and start shooting at an election? It doesn't make any sense to me. In Accra also, for that matter. It is not a rural area. This is Accra.
Well, Mr. Okudzeto, that's why we are having this conversation with you this morning, so that we give ear and we give space to these calls to be made. But you are a senior lawyer and a statesman. Does national security mean or warrant working outside what we know as the boundaries of the law?
No. My personal view, nothing to the Council of State or anything like that.
Okay.
My personal view has always been that nobody is above the law. This has been my stand throughout my life. And in my life, even as a lawyer, I've always insisted that nobody is above the law, and that the law must always take its course. That if somebody acts outside the law, then he's actually making himself lawless. And the law must be allowed to deal with such a person or group of persons, whatever they may be. This has always been my stand. Because if everybody takes the law into his own hands, where are we going to be? You know that I was even asked to take a pistol when people came and attack me in my house. They gave me a license to order a pistol. On second thought, I said, that's a dangerous thing. If I have the pistol and someone come and I shoot, and then he also shoot, then it's warfare. So I would rather not have the pistol. At least I have a God who is my protector. So the issue is simply that I think you, the media, should insist. And now that you have said that I have also heard it, I can take this also to my own people in the Council of State to say that we should insist to an inquiry should be made into that thing to see how it came about that people have gone in masks in Accra shooting guns.
So this is something that the Council of State will officially be
No,
speaking
hold it.
No, I just want to...
Officially. I said that now that I have heard what is going on, I will also intimate this to my members of my council. But I think you, the media, also should take it up.
Okay. We just wanted to get that clarity. But
yes.
I'm interested in that example you gave of your personal life when you refused to carry a pistol because you wanted to stay within the confines of the law. Because a lot of members of the opposition NDC, beginning with former President Mahama, see this as a sort of leaving them with no choice but to also prepare their own vigilante groups. And former president has said that even though they support democracy and they are midwives of Ghana's democracy, they can match the NPP boot for boot. What do you make of these utterances that have been made?
Unfortunately, I think that also is irresponsibility. You know, we respect former presidents. It's very important that we should have former office holders still in society. And they should look at themselves in that light. They are supposed to set the standard, the example for others to follow. And therefore, if something like this happens, the president, the former president, has access to the current president. He has access to him. This is a matter you should take up with them to talk about. And insist that the right thing be done. Not to make provocative statement of that nature. Because what he's saying then is an encouragement for others, maybe in the NDC, to say that they can also behave the same way. You know that two wrongs do not make a right. Two wrongs do not make a right. If the wrong thing is done, let us ensure as citizens that the right thing is done. It's the only way we can have peace and tranquility in our society. The progress of this nation depends upon the peace and tranquility. Our progress has been retarded because of these misbehaviors in the past. This country should have been much richer. Ghanaians should have been much better off than they are at the moment because of the happenings in the past. So it is no reason why we should set the clock back again.
Mr. Okudzeto, this conversation is really about vigilantism and how it looks like it's beginning to creep into official state security agencies. So, for us to
I am against vigilante in any shape or form. I personally, I am against vigilante in any shape or form. Because the vigilante, what is the purpose of a vigilante? If all of us are supposed to be obedient to the law, then let us all obey the law.
But the question I was going to ask, Mr. Okudzeto, was how do we deal with it if we want to nip this vigilantism thing in the bud?
You recollect that when the news about this Galamsey came up, there was some group, I think there was this editor of Graphic, I think. He marshaled the media upon it. The Council of State took it up, called chiefs and others for open discussion and the rest of it. This is what we should be doing. When something is wrong in our society, let us marshal our forces together. Let us not be divisive. Let us marshal our forces together, talk about it, and make sure that we nip it in the bud. Otherwise, it goes out of hand. We've seen these situations in this thing. I can remember 10. Do you remember 10?
Yes.
Do you recollect 10?
Yes. The third election in 2008.
Exactly. Where Ostensibly, somebody was winning election, they went and burned the ballot boxes. The votes that have been cast were all burnt to reverse the process. And those are things that we think should be of the past because it's not good for society. We should be a society of law and order. Which means that I have right, you have right. I should respect your right, you should also respect mine. That's the way it should be.
So you think, Mr. Okudzeto, that the solution begins with advocacy and citizens demanding?
That is where it all lies. This is why it all lies. Because let's put it this way. Anybody can make a mistake. You understand?
Yes.
Even a president can make mistake.
You see, Mr. Okudzeto, the question
is a human being. But what I'm saying is that if all of us as citizens see something which is wrong, or something which is creeping up like what you are talking about right now, you are talking about vigilantism. Now, it means something which has been, and some of us have thought that it has died out. But then if it's creeping up again, it is for us as citizens to take it up.
Mr. Okudzeto, the question is, where does the real power lie? Because, and I was just having this conversation. Yes, no, you see, I was just having this conversation earlier, and I'll put that point to you. Political parties have spoken openly and have said that they will not disband these groups. Samia Oku, organizer of the NPP, has said they are a part of them, they will not disband them. You hear from the other side that, okay, if you will not disband, we are also not disbanding. So we can talk, but with this stance that has been taken by political parties, what realistically can happen?
You know something? I know we hear all this about political party. I'm also belong to political party. But the question is often is that you find out some of the leaders, some make utterances which are contrary to even what their own supporters would have agreed to. So we don't leave the matter merely because political parties have made such statements. This is what I'm talking about. That you need the public to take up the issues of this nature and insist that there should be law and order in our society. It is in the interest of every Ghanaian that there should be law and order. It's in the interest of even those who are making the noise there. Do you know something? Oftentimes people don't appreciate that they can also be victims. When they make statements, they don't realize that they also can be victims. Sometimes I said, some of us who suffered in the past from this kind of behavior and conduct, where soldiers will come to your house, you don't know who they are in the night, to come and attack you. We've seen it. It has happened to me. And I thought that now that we have a constitution, we have a government, we have even a lawyer who is the president, this is the time for us as citizens of this country to be sober and not get just carried away by someone's conduct or misbehavior and insist that the right thing be done. This is the media advocacy that I'm talking about. And you, the media, you're more powerful than us as individuals.
Mr. Okudzeto, like I said, that is why we are having this conversation with you. And so what I want to do now is give you the space to speak directly to these people, these political parties.
Well, this is what I'm yes. This is what I'm saying.
I want you to say it in a certain way. That's why I'm saying this.
Okay.
I want you to speak directly to these people, beginning with the president you have referred to and the leadership of these political parties. What is the real danger they are putting us in with what they are doing, and what must they do now?
I am just saying, I'm telling every Ghanaian to say that we are all Ghanaians, irrespective of the political party we belong to, irrespective of the religion that we profess, irrespective of the tribe that maybe by coincidence, if you like to put it that way, by accident or history, we happen to be born into. But we are all Ghanaians. We all have one nation. We have one destiny, peace and tranquility. We all require progress in every respect. And therefore, we need to respect one another. Peace is an important ingredient in every society, even for the progress of the country. The investors come to invest in a country when there is peace and tranquility. If there is no peace and tranquility, they won't come. Look at the country which have all around us, which have been devastated by conflicts and the rest of them. Those have happened because of the conduct of the people. So it is time now for us Ghanaians to realize where we are, that this is the time for us to learn to live in peace and in unity. Vigilantism has no place in politics. It has no place in society at all. We need to live in peace. I think whatever happened in Ayawaso, let it be investigated. If people are culpable, let them be punished in accordance with law. This is my view on the matter.
Thank you very much, Sam Okudzeto, for joining us this morning.